Pam Bondi exposed the Democrats like never before.
You want to talk about incompetence? You're the one that said Joe Biden on PBS was competent.
During a House hearing, two Democrat congresswomen chose to ignore the topic altogether and engaged in needless theatrics. But the AG wasn't having it and shut them down on the spot.
So you're going to merge the two agencies together, and then you're going to shortchange their resources.
As I was attempting to answer your question very calmly, unlike you.
And today, we're covering it all. So if you believe truth isn't partisan, hit the subscribe button and let's jump right into it.
The three hallmarks of this administration are incompetence, corruption, and cruelty. I'm going to focus today on corruption. And in my mind, there are two types of corruption: personal, and then the other I'm going to call public, governmental. Attorney General, have you ever been registered as an agent of a foreign principal under the Foreign Agents Registration Act?
I assume you're talking about when I represented the country of Qatar for a very short time.
The answer is yes. No,
hold on.
No.
For anti-human trafficking for the World Cup. Anti-human trafficking for the World Cup.
Attorney
you can't
General,
put words in my mouth.
No.
You want to talk about incompetence? You're the one that said Joe Biden on PBS was competent. You had to retract those words.
Mr.
So don't
Chairman,
talk to me. Don't insult me publicly.
For context, this hearing was before the House Appropriations Committee and was supposed to focus on the DOJ's budget for the fiscal year 2026. But leave it to the Democrats to turn it into a full-on show. What Congresswoman Dean asked about here was already asked during Pam's confirmation hearing. It was after her stint as Florida's AG, and the firm she worked for had clients like Amazon, Uber, and the government of Qatar. And since Dean wants to talk about lobbying, a quick look at her own donors shows J Street on the list, a PAC that backs candidates based on things like commitment to Israel's security and support for U.S. aid to Israel. And get this, travel disclosures show they paid for a 6-day trip for Dean and her husband to visit Tel Aviv just last year. So, by her standards, would that qualify as personal corruption or public?
this is so discourteous. This is so outside the committee's guidelines. Taking a personal shot at me while swiping at Biden, very strange and very unprofessional of you. The answer is yes or no, and the answer is yes. You were registered as a lobbyist for Qatar. Is that correct? Yes. Never mind. Don't answer. President Trump.
This was discussed at my confirmation hearings in detail.
It was discussed, but you failed to bring up the conflict that you had. President Trump recently announced he'd accept that $400 million Qatar airplane because it was just prettier than the one he was flying around in. Is it true that you gave advice that this was legally permissible? Yes or no?
I will not discuss any advice that my Office of Legal Counsel gives to the President of the United States on any matter. And talking about unprofessional, you say the President wanted a jet because it's pretty?
Excuse
Come
me.
on. This is a Senate. This is a
He said it
congressional
himself.
hearing.
He said it himself.
Again, this hearing was supposed to focus on reviewing the DOJ's 2026 budget. Oversight is important, no question, but theatrics like this are a big reason why, since 1977, Congress has managed to pass all the required appropriations measures on time only on 4 instances. If they want to grill Bondi, fine, but schedule a separate hearing instead of derailing this one. And, on the topic of the Qatari airplane, did you know that Boeing was awarded the contract for 2 new Air Force One planes in July 2018? Yet the delivery has already been delayed twice. Mind you, the ones that are currently in use are about 35 years old and have been flying since President George H.W. Bush was in office. But don't let the facts get in the way when talking about an aircraft that carries the country's top officials. Then came Rosa DeLauro, who kept using the same tactic of asking a question only to cut Pam off mid-answer. But before we get to that, a quick reminder, we just launched our merch store. It's amazing, you're going to love it, and every purchase helps us continue bringing you the stories that the media tries to bury. So check it out. Now back to the video.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Just a quick note before I get to my questions. Fentanyl seizures are down 30% compared to last year, and that data is coming from the Customs and Border Patrol, CBP. I don't make it up. But fentanyl seizures are down. At your confirmation hearing, you asserted that you will do everything in your power to prevent illegal gun runners in our country. Your budget request for the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, ATF, proposes a cut of 26% below the current level. How can you justify such a massive cut without inevitably weakening ATF's ability to help our state and local law enforcement fight illegal gun trafficking?
I am a career prosecutor, and I believe in keeping America safe, making America safe. First, what we're doing is ATF is going to be brought over with DEA. Everyone knows, everyone sitting up here, guns and drugs go together. They go together. We're going to make it more efficient. What I will tell you will not be happening is ATF agents will not be knocking on the doors of legal gun owners in the middle of the night asking them about their guns.
It's funny how Rosa ended up highlighting one of the administration's successes without meaning to. She pointed out that the fentanyl seizures are down, but that's happening because the supply chain itself is being disrupted. On top of that, a recent report by NPR revealed street drug deaths in the U.S. are dropping at the fastest rate ever seen, adding it marks the lowest level of drug deaths in nearly 4 years. Now, the idea of merging the ATF and DEA raises real concerns, since it could create inefficiencies, inflate their budgets, and spark internal turf wars. But instead of addressing any of that, Rosa ignored the bigger picture and went straight to a question she had already rehearsed an answer for.
They're going to be out on the streets.
I have three
No.
minutes.
You asked me a question.
I did. And
you asked me a question.
And you haven't
I'm gonna
answered
answer
my
it.
question.
So they're going to be out on the streets working
You haven't
hand in hand
answered my
with
question.
DEA
You
to
haven't
violate.
answered. Mr. Chairman, I'd like an answer to my question. And the question is not being answered. How many ATF law enforcement officers and industry operations investigators do you anticipate will be lost to attrition as a result of the funding reduction you are proposing? You are proposing a 26% cut to ATF for fiscal year 2026, as well as a 4.4% cut to DEA. So you're going to merge the two agencies together, and then you're going to shortchange their resources, so neither one of them will be able to do the job that they have been designed to do.
As I was attempting to answer your question very calmly, unlike you,
Excuse me, Madam Attorney General. Answer yes or no. Tell me what the numbers are. I don't want to hear all of your filibuster about this. Go ahead. Please, tell us the numbers.
So we are reorganizing. ATF agents want to be out on the street.
Okay,
working
let me answer the
DEA
question for you.
agents.
I'm going to answer it for you.
And just like that, Rosa launched into a rant, and any real policy discussion evaporated. This hearing is a perfect example of why Congress has become so inefficient and so dysfunctional in recent years. It's easy to point fingers at the lawmakers, but there's another layer to this. Voters are the ones putting people like DeLauro and Dean in those seats. So in the end, we end up dealing with the consequences of our own choices. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on the story. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember, keep thinking.